And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Austin, Texas for DreamHack Astro Open. We're in a elimination best of 3, and Liquid have done the unthinkable. They've forced a third map against G2 on train, nonetheless. Great work from them, particularly JDM having one of the best games. I think the best game he's ever had since he put a Liquid tag on. So really great stuff there from him. And now it comes down to Nuke, a team that both teams are very comfortable playing, but G2 has the better overall results. And so maybe it tilts in their balance a bit. Obviously, so did Train, but it didn't work out that way. Yeah. So what are your thoughts on what we're about to see on Nuke?
Yeah, I actually do favor G2 on the map, but yeah, they're really, really good at this map. And I think if Train was a problem for Liquid because of how hard it is to stay coordinated on CT side, which is probably the hardest part. Once you lose a player, how do you adjust? And they avoided that by getting the first kill quite often. If they come into Nuke, I think it's even harder just to stay coordinated. When you lose one person on Nuke, it gets so crazy on CT side. And with how aggressive each person is on G2, I think this will be a great test for Liquid.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think G2 have only lost it once total between online and offline play. I think they've played it maybe 9 or 10 times, only one loss. In fact, beating FaZe on it in that best of 3 at Star Ladder, and FaZe are no slouches on Nuke in their own right. So that was a big offline result to get for G2. Meanwhile, Liquid, again, willing to play it a lot. The results haven't quite been, what you'd hope for, though. I think they're 1-1 since Stan joined the team online, and then they played it a lot at Summit. And I know they beat Nip, but they lost an OT to Gambit, and then they lost a game to Optic as well in that best of 3. So they don't have the same, results behind them that G2 have, so to speak. But definitely willing to play the map. Definitely put time into it.
Yeah. Are we going to see a knife round for map 3, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Pretty sure G2 won it, so I guess they're going to get CT side first. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah, so that's a good place to start. They do get the CT side. And again, this was, so Alex just mentioned, this would be G2 getting eliminated for a tournament after losing to 2 NA teams in the group stage. And this is kind of like their LAN performance that most people, including myself, and I think you as well, felt like this is their tournament to lose.
Absolutely. We all felt that way. A lot of people did coming into this. Almost everyone picked them to do so from who I talked to. And so it will be really crazy for them to not only not win the tournament, but not even make the finals and not even make the semifinals. They're just to be eliminated in the group stage. That would be crazy stuff. And be, I guess, the first team eliminated from their group as well, because Liquid still has to, whoever wins still has to go on to play another decider game that would be the second elimination. So they could be like the second team eliminated after Luminosity. That would be crazy.
That is crazy,
to happen.
And take nothing away from Liquid, though. I mean, I feel like there's so many good things to be pointed out about Liquid. I personally had high expectations for them. I'm not surprised by how well they're doing. I am surprised that they were able to 16-2 on Train versus G2, just blow them out of the water on a really good map. That is surprising for sure, and that means that G2 aren't playing as well as they could. But I think there are a lot of things to say about how good Liquid are playing and how well they've developed and how quickly they've done that, even after just picking up Twist recently.
Which is good, because on paper, when you saw this roster kind of slowly get pieced together, first it was securing Stanislaw, then it was about searching for that replacement for Pimp and bringing in some more young talent. The acquisition of Zeus even further back than that, going into the late last year, it really made you feel like, okay, now they have really good coaching staff behind them, someone who can really help them tactically, which is something they desired. So there's so much upside to the lineup as far as talent, as far as how deep the playbook can be with Stan and Zeus. And so you're just waiting. When is that all going to add up and actually amount to something? When are the results actually going to start kicking in? Online, it's been pretty solid. Yeah. But obviously at Summit, they didn't really achieve the success that I think that they were expecting to. Yeah. But if they can win this best of 3 against G2, that would be their first really big result, right? And that would be great for them to build off of. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, because G2 is a solid team. But here we go. It's map 3. It's underway. The pistol round is live, and G2 will start on the CT side.
First things first. Oh. The vents busted out. Stan was unable to go down. The bomb gets dropped by Kenny S, who hits a clean headshot on players rushing ramp. MBK is here to support him and is looking for some free shots if he can find them. Kenny S, however, is not done yet. At the bottom of the ramp, still being aggressive, and there are Liquid players trying to make up for lost ground, but it's not enough. The bomb is now in control of, is now being controlled by G2. Liquid have ramp back, and Kenny S can kind of forfeit this, but also has shocks to back him up. And they have found very safe locations to go and spot this bomb from.
Yeah, Kenny S playing behind the sight silo, one up close as well onto JDM, and can even do a little bit of a bait and switch type of deal here. But Elish catches Shocks, and so now Kenny S is going to have to do the brunt of the work. He's already done quite a lot. He's gotten all the kills, or excuse me, most of the kills for his team this round. Body does get one, and Kenny S goes down, so now it's going to be Elish versus Body in a 1v1. 42 seconds left on the clock, so plenty of time for Elish to work with, but it's not going to come to fruition. Body with a nice headshot there, the one tap. That's going to be the 1-0 for G2.
That was sick. That was a really nice one. Elish is really good in those situations. He is a master with the USP. But overall, a really good hold, a lot of good adjustments that came out. Great support from all teammates. We had Chalks coming in to support Kenny S. We had MBK coming in to support Kenny S. And Elish was trying to throw a wrench in it, the boy genius, but wasn't good enough. Again, Squeaky's blown out immediately. Smoke goes out. And this is a great way to bait utility, as well as we can see, a lot of ammo, a lot of attention. And I'd say it's like the Olaf smoke of this map, where you get a lot of bang for your buck by just throwing it on T side just to keep the CTs honest.
Yes, of course, G2's going to be more bought up than Liquid thanks to that pistol round victory, but there is the UMP in play on Elish, and obviously those Tech 9s and armor can be quite a nuisance to deal with here, as we are seeing Liquid starting to establish a little bit of control here on the outside rafters. Trying to find multiple ways into this upper bomb site, perhaps. Kenny S eyeballing it, though, from outside heaven as Nitro slides into Hut. Apex, though, playing here at the vent corner. And here comes the push out now. Apex lines up one kill, looking for more. Not going to find it, but that's okay because NBK and Kenny S are able to find some. But now it comes down to a 2-on-2, in fact, thanks to some great work by Nitro and the Liege. The 1-2 punch will be the last two remaining for Liquid in this round. They're trying to see if they can't tie it up as soon as possible. They are going to bait the heaven peek out of Kenny S, and they get that kill. Now it's all on Shocks, 1v2, sneaking in as they plant the bomb. He spots one, doesn't take the shot. The patience is key here for Shocks. That's a great headshot on the Nitro, looking for more. He does it. A great 1v2 for Shocks to hold off the tie, get the 2-0 lead for G2.
Obviously, bad play from Kenny S to go and peek in that situation, just because left Shocks in a 1v2. They attempted to stop the plant early. It would have been risky. He might have had the okay from Shocks. I feel like he wouldn't. He's not. It's such a simple thing to do wrong that I don't think he would have done it unless he felt like there was a good reason to, or that it was cool with his teammate. His 2v2s are just played, standard, right? Wait, and then push together. But getting called out on the fake plant and was a hard read and made it look really bad. But good thing for G2, they had Shocks to clean it up. I think so. Liquid had took both pistols on the second map. G2, did they get both pistols on map 1?
I believe so.
Yeah, they did, didn't they? Maybe we see a split pistol 16-14 on this map then.
We will see, as of course that bomb plant is going to give money for Liquid for later. This round they're going to try to just take it nice and conservative. They want to use that money they got from the bomb plant in the previous rounds to really make sure they get a nice full buy in the next. And so they'll just be working with a couple of P250s, a couple of Deagles, no armor, no utility. So it should be easy pickings for G2 at this point. As Liquid are taking it pretty slow, though, trying to see if those Deagles can't find something.
Here's the stupid position on this map. It's just you got to sit in old secret, yeah, and just spot for people crossing for basically the entire round, just because you have to worry about that. But there's Kenny S looking for a little bit more than just that kind of campy position, and is finding a fight for himself. The Deagle shots are not good until there. Apex is the one on the receiving end. Oh, but that silenced M4. He's on for the ace now.
Yeah, he has just established his dominance outside. Really no other way to describe that one. His Body really back live with some nukes. So here we go. Finally, it's time. G2 up 3-0. Everything has been fixed. And now Liquid are onto their first spot to see if they can't get back into this one.
Finally, they had to actually replay the each round out manually because eBot was being a little brick.
That's a nice way of putting it.
And but it's all sorted now after a lot of good banter in chat as well between the two teams. But G2 off to that 3-0 start, very strong, and they got our dedicated rafter man sitting by Old Secret, making sure that nobody can pass. Outside control on the ducket for Team Liquid.
JDM looking to see if he can find something with this AWP. As Stanislaw making his way around, is clearing all the close angles. That smoke wall is up to kind of, allow them to get control of this red box and just, push any aggression that might be there back over towards Big Garage and Mini. As, of course, we are actually now even seeing a little bit of gathering here from Liquid inside the ramp room. MBK is going to be here with an incendiary, just kind of waiting it out. Soon, I'm sure he is going to hear some of this, may even spot it. Spots that flash, runs down, doesn't realize just how quickly they're coming behind him, and Nitro gonna get the shot in the back of his head. That's gonna allow them just to start storming the lower bomb site. No hesitation, but Kenny S with the op. A great headshot on the Nitro in response. So the retaliation is swift from G2 to even it back up as time is running so low for Liquid, and Kenny S through the window in the face of Peter. Just absolutely fantastic stuff, and he's just gonna keep going. It's Kenny S show right now on Nuke, and JDM's all alone. And what a play by him. As it's worth pointing out that Kenny S's stats on Nuke are insane. He's only gone negative once in like the last 12 or so times he's played this map, so pretty cool stuff. Definitely not something that Valda pointed out to me or something during the break. Totally just me. I just knew that.
You're amazing.
I know, man. It's insane.
So good at this. That is a crazy stat line, though. And what an incredible flick that was through the control room. Obviously, 3 kills. One of these right here. Flat angles. And, wow, headshot wallbang, technically, through that glass. Not even sure. Does that kill in one shot, or did they fix the damage on that? Because that used to only do 50 damage, even with an op, through that thick glass. And you're not sure? Yeah. I knew it didn't kill, when it obviously should. If you see someone, you shoot them with an op, they should die. Bottom.
So apparently somebody had their earbuds on backwards and heard things not the right way that game. That round, at least. Of course that would happen. Yeah. So we should get right back into it.
That's like a personal issue. That should be a third.
Just peek the opposite direction you hear noises from. That's the solution. Here we go.
Oh, wait, that actually happened?
Yeah, that's legit. I didn't just come up with that off the top of the dome. That was really what actually happened from the in-game communication that I received.
Twisted. Sorry, I am not very smart. That's okay.
Self-mutilation, of course.
We don't all win the genetic lottery in that regard. But G2, after that round, have left JDM with his op in a very awkward spot because he has $50 remaining, and so Liquid have decided to kind of support him by buying armor, but not investing too much money so as to buy down to 0 across all 5 players. And that it can be tempting to want to just all in on it, but because of the situation, they're going to have max loss next round. I think they're better off trying to have some impact with JDM. Hopefully, he can maybe die or not die and save the op for the next round, while everybody else gets a pretty decent buy-in. And if not, do some damage before that happens.
Yeah, JDM's going to be really the piece that Liquid's going to lean on to find something here. As Shox is going to get chased back with that Molotov. He's just going to retreat into the back hallways now as Kenny S. What a spot this is. Just barely peeking through this forklift and CT spawn with an op, just making sure that no one's going to be able to backstab through heaven, whether it be through rafters or through the ladder hell. Meanwhile, Nitro's been creeping in this lower bomb site with the Tech 9. I'm not sure anyone's aware of his presence here. He's going to be able to just absolutely blindside this player in the ramp room, the charging through. There's NBK down. And so despite the fact they had very little to work with, they've actually collected an M4 into Nitro's hands. They still had that op into JDM. They have a man advantage, but Kenny S catching a lead, jumping off the rafter. That op is so accurate right now for Kenny S. He is in the zone, looking for more, but takes that damage from Peter's P250. He's out now, and all of a sudden, Liquid have a man advantage. They may get this first round off of this. This would be fantastic stuff from Liquid.
That was truly a David and Goliath moment, and Peter has actually recovered the op from Kenny in the spawn as well. So now they're suddenly on a double op. The only player who doesn't have much going for him is Twist, no armor, but has that deagle. Watch him just pitch in for a kill here. There it is. He grabs one, and another frag coming out. JDM having the impact. The bomb going down. 1v3 for Shox in a situation where JDM had forced his teammates to buy a little bit more than they'd like. They really put everything to use and have successfully split outside into taking heavy control and planting the bomb upper. Very little chance for Shox to win here.
Very little. This is definitely the guy you want alive in a situation like this to try to make something happen, but this is asking a lot. He does have a kit. He does have a little bit of utility, but just too many terrorists left alive. So many places they could be trying to retake this upper bomb site. He will just hold an angle here at Mini and hope for an exit.
Oh man, this is actually, I guess, yeah. Another kill, will he get it? He does. One more. Wow,
My
very
goodness.
successful. Wow, an excellent round. Does he live? He's quite close. He lives, yeah.
He does live, yeah. Well done.
Damage.
So doing
Fantastic.
all the economic damage that's possible there, forcing all the rebuys out. So that means no money gets saved up by Liquid. So not too shabby given the fact that they lost the round, but definitely they're going to be shaking their heads at the fact that they let that one slip through their fingers.
Shox is one of the very few players that you could have 5 of them on a team and they'd just be the best team ever.
Yeah, that's very true. He can play every role very efficiently.
Just as patient as he is aggressive and smart in all situations, making practically good decisions all the time.
So back onto a bye is Liquid. The op is in JDM's hands once more. He was fantastic on Train to push us to this third map. Will he keep it up is the question. Shox will be watching outside the edge of that smoke with the M4. Kenny S is waiting here with the op and lower. Gets the shot into Elige, backpedaling now. No one's there fast enough to trade him off, and now he'll just get a new angle and wait for the next victim to come across his screen. A pop flash comes out. He's going to take a shot, just jumps back. Still no one really able to actually get on top of him, as he's just going to fade back again. Meanwhile, JDM does take down Shox through Mini, and Stanislaus creeping his way through upper rafters into heaven. So you're starting to see Liquid find a lot of different openings into this upper bomb site, perhaps, as MBK is just getting under heaven. So this could get really interesting in just a moment, as MBK may not realize that he's already inside heaven, and now he's going to be able to line up the 2 frags because of it. Stanislaus, great work now. Apex trying to hold on. Kenny S rotating with an up the vent, almost lands the shot, just misses. And so it looks like Liquid will put this second round in the road. Kenny S not really in position to contest this. Just a great heads-up play from Stanislaus. Liquid have done a great job just getting into positions that G2 did not know that they had control of.
We definitely have a game on our hands after watching that round. Really well executed. As you mentioned, Stanislaus being able to lurk in this game, in this map, around the rafters up into heaven, and actually heard MBK shooting out the glass, but I think realized that his teammates were coming in Mini at that moment, so immediately just needed to take control of heaven, and the fact that NBK would be unable to come back up heaven even if he had gotten that frag. So recognized, I think was fully aware that he could have waited as he looked down. He could have waited to kill MBK first, but really needed to secure that kill for body so that his teammates could get into the site. Really great awareness and created a good amount of space for his teammates. Complete that execute.
It's 2 rounds in a row now for Liquid. They're finally starting to drain the funds of G2. You can see that after this buy, only a couple of $100 a piece is spread out amongst G2. So this is the round they must win, and Shox will have the op in place of Kenny S. Definitely a bit odd. We'll see what he can do with it, though. Obviously, Shox very capable in his own right with the sniper, and Kenny S not a bad rifler as far as oppers go. As Liquid take no time at all to get control of this outside area. Kenny S, though, delivering the first blow. That's Elige out of the equation now already very early in this round, but still a lot of map presence here from Liquid that G2 must respond to.
Nice 50 damage nade onto Kenny here in Hell, who's gotten a kill with his rifle already. JDM taking pot shots of the wall, praying for that wall bang. But with outside control, there's a lot you can do. You're stirring rotations. The difficult part is knowing exactly what those rotations are. Hard to get info beyond actually having the understanding that people will have to move to adjust.
Yeah, now they know they have to worry about Heaven. They have to worry about Mini. Of course, there still could be someone Hut. So there's so many angles that G2 have to be weary of. And Heaven's definitely going to be one of the threats that are going to come their way once more. Stanislaus made a big play from here before. Now it's going to be up to a couple of different members from Liquid to do just that. It's going to be Twist going down first. Body, great response. MBK coming in as well. But Stanislaus is sweeping through with frags. Almost gets another and gets himself a chance. But G2 do hold on. So finally, some type of roadblock is being put up against Liquid, as G2 will find that 5th round now.
Yeah, that was huge. Ecos are super possible on CT side of Nuke because, again, you have to aggress into the site from all these choke points that are very tight and offer up a lot of angles that pistols have a great time playing around. So that was the problem that we saw Liquid face just now, where that type of outside control would have been equally as effective versus rifles, but beyond that, have to somehow manage to find a way to avoid all those close angles. And Mans gets hurt. Oh, there's 2 of them going down vents. They have control of it. Twist has also got a kill. That's a ramp frag Turnpike has been taken down and Op has been recovered. MBK is dinged in. Are we going to have Eco for Eco 4v3 now with the bomb down lower?
This is turning into an absolute slugfest at this point as Apex is trying to steer it back into control of G2. That's a great kill on to Stanislaw. And you do see that Elige very low on HP. JDM also not looking too healthy with that op in his hands. But they do have the bomb down. They're just trying to halt this reach. A couple players trying to come through back. Halls here onto Twist with that Tech 9, but he's going to light up Body with the headshot. And now looking for more. Kinius, though, with the op up close, finds the frag. And so now the 2v2 is unfolding before our eyes. We do see Apex coming in, somehow reacts to Elige, but JDM's still up with that op. He's able to find the frag. Apex, though, chases him down, but he's just out of time, so it doesn't matter. Well played by Liquid. And there you have it, a round for round at this point. The gap closes.
This is going to be one hell of a hard map to analyze with the craziness coming out from the pistols on both sides. And, you know, being able to drop vents is a very important play that a lot of terrorist teams need to make sure, or terrorist sides need to make sure they're abusing as much as possible. Snacks infamously is probably the best vent dropper of all time. On Nuke, and it's crazy how he does it, but on this Nuke, because there's only one that you can go down, people are constantly throwing that smoke outside of Squeaky just a little bit to create a little bit of space and the illusion that they might be taking it. Wow, Kenny S adjusting to a very weird angle, falling out of heaven into another frag. What a great adjustment there. Put it in an awkward spot, getting the bang for his buck out of his op.
What a god, dude. Shox is going to find a couple of frags as well, and so G2 are about to respond right back to Liquid. Just great opping work there from Kenny S. This is a map that G2 are very good on, and it definitely seems like home turf for Kenny S with his op. He looks so fluid in his play right now. He's already up to, how many frags is that? We've played 15 rounds. Is that 18?
Yeah, Kenny S has 18 kills.
What
Yeah.
is this?
That is actually crazy. Holy smokes. We have another 6 rounds to go, on pace for a 30 bomb half, which is unlikely, but the option or the ability is still on the table. I mean, I'd personally like to see it. That'd be great.
Yeah, just Stanislaw remains here for Liquid. A good amount of time to work with. He does have some utility, but the bomb is not in his possession. And yeah, Apex will be the one to finish him off there. So that is now another round for G2 in the books.
Highly awkward round to lose, obviously, after securing a round where you win just with pistols, having to lose and now have just an awfully low amount of money. They're going to be forcing up behind it, anticipating a double save. Twist only going to be the only man that is going to have an AK. And we'll see if they try to do that vent control again. It's really hard to stop if you do it properly, and it causes a lot. It forces a lot of utility to be used in response from the CTs, which means the smoke by itself, even if you aren't going to abuse it, can be fruitful. Anyways.
Yeah, again, it's just establishing that consistent smoke wall outside. This time they're actually going to use it to take back halls. But that's going to leave G2 guessing later on what they might be up to. But Twist finding the headshot onto Apex, so there's no question what's happening here. Liquid are just storming through lower, and Twist is leading the charge in all of it. He's got both the frags for his team on this round. That's going to secure the bomb plant here. And he takes out Kenny S as well. What is this from Twist? He's got the hat trick so far. He's on for the potential ace. Depending on where these CTs come from, he may have the chance to go for it here. Shots get stuck in window. Nitro will take that one. And so now it's just Body coming through back halls. He may, in fact, run across Twist here in a moment for the quad kill round. So he's trying to back up and get out of there. Maybe just try to hold an angle for an exit. JDM will be the first victim lining up there. But certainly Liquid may look to chase a little bit more and try to take this gun out of his hands. But they don't want to risk too much. Their own money is tight.
That was an excellent use of resources. The 2 smokes that they had to be able to cross outside, and then they put the AK in front just as Twist should be leading the charge, and then hoping that he is good enough to get those entries. And there's a lot riding on him. In fact, everything is. If he dies, there's only pistols to follow up, and a trade is likely impossible. But Apex going down immediately, him turning it into 3 kills, fantastic shot right there. I'd be completely on tilt, and just as he opens up the door, incredible spray control on Kenny S, and Twist wins them that round. And it was a great strat to complement the fact that they had such a broken buy in the first place to push in a secret where you kind of see one person at a time, just as was noted with how Twist was pushing into lower.
Yeah, just working with what you've got, making the most out of limited resources. That's the advantage of having that deep playbook with 2 kind of masterminds of the game. sitting there for Liquid. One in the middle seat and one behind them, of course, Zeus. As now G2 is going to be on a lighter buy this time around. Just a deagle for Kenny S, but he's been so on fire this game. You feel like he can just make magic happen no matter what's in his hands at this point. NBK will be on that UMP again, still can be effective, but here comes the upper rush. No utility to stop this from happening, but Apex's M4 could be the one to put a stop to it. Shock's now chiming in as well, and so it's all on JDM. 1v3, that's a nice up-close hop frag there, but Shock's not gonna let him get out of control, so you know, Liquid trying to take advantage of a team with no utility for an upper rush, but it just didn't matter. The guns up there for G2 ring out well.
This is actually crazy. The last 6 rounds have been traded back and forth. What an amazingly tumultuous half it's been for both teams. And ultimately, if this ends up, if they keep trading back and forth, we're going to have a great half for Liquid and an okay half for G2. So at a certain point, G2 need to really stop the bleeding. This is another opportunity where Liquid have decided to buy up because they smell blood using their Tech-9s and utility to try to group and push something together. Shocks with a great flash and a UMP to put pressure on Liquid. And it's easily traded out by JDM and then NBK. Highly favors them body. Nice headshot, leaving Nitro on literally, can I get a one spam in chat?
Yeah, he just clotheslined that first guy outside, and that's finally 2 rounds in a row going to someone. Like I said, the first time in 6 rounds someone's been able to do that. So kind of crazy that's the story we're being dealt with. Usually when it's a close score like this and it's back and forth, it's still usually like 2 to 3 round winning streaks, and the response is a 3 round winning streak from your opponent. But this has literally just been back and forth throughout the entire half ever since, you know, the opening gun round essentially. Because of course we did have that 3-0 start from G2.
Yeah, but suddenly we're in 11-4 territory as, you know, a Liquid decided to take the Tech-9s and all their utility and try to buy up. Blocks obviously on this round. Twist comes out with a P250 headshot somehow, and our last man Nitro has been spotted and should be eliminated quickly enough. Fantastic cleanup, starting to shape up for a really good CT side. Kenny S up to 20-8.
That is pretty ridiculous when you consider the fact that we've only played 13 rounds.
Yeah.
Definitely putting in the work. Again, this is a map he's been notoriously good on this team. And of course, G2's only lost this map once in total.
Right. Yeah, another thing to note for sure.
As it's now the double op setup from G2. Shox and Kenny S will both have the scoped weapons in their hands here, as we do see a lot of utility on this squeaky door. Looked like Liquid were trying to do something a little bit faster pace, but they've been blocked off. Now they're trying to reroute through Hut, but Body's up close with the AK, and he's lighting them up. There's that hat trick spray down for him. Twist, the last man standing for his team, trying to make magic happen. He gets out the window very quickly, takes down Shox, but Apex quick to trade from the top of the Hut, and that's double digits for G2.
Yeah, well, more can you say? Body picked a really good angle to take on players who are coming out of Hut. If you do find a good off angle, it's usually one where players are clearing something else while they're coming out. So, for example, we see all of these players are looking up as soon as they tried to come out of Hut, and Elige recognized the threat that was right in front of them, and so peeked a little bit lower. But the first 2 kills basically handed to him as he had a distraction. So,
yeah, it looks like Liquid are taking a tactical with 1 round left on the half. So they want to use it now to see if they can't figure everything out to make sure they get this last final 5th round for themselves, rather than allowing G2 to get to 11. Yeah, I mean, in a round like this one, Launders, I mean, from what you've seen on Nuke just in general, in a situation where you're only going to be able to have, you know, UMPs, maybe a little bit of utility, what do you think Liquid's best bet is here?
I like that they did their secret play. I think I wouldn't want them to be too obvious about what they're trying to do, but their smoke wall outside secret, they know that they're going to leave Apex to play either inside of secret stairs, or they're going to have Kenny S, who is an op that they would be happy to charge taking first contact. And they've got enough utility to, instead of having to jump peek him, constantly flash him off of angles, which as soon as he gets flashed once, he's going to fall back to the next thing. They kind of have to do that 3 times, and then at that point they'll be able to fight Apex and jump into events and take lower. I think that's their best bet.
We'll see what they come up with. They have several Molotovs that they've bought. They have some smokes. They have some flashes. So they definitely have the world as their oyster as far as utilities go.
Yeah.
I mean, as far firepower overall, not quite on the same par as that double op setup that G2's turning around. But here's the question: do they realize they're up against double op? I'm not sure that they would have heard more than 1 op in that round. So I'm not sure if they had that information at their disposal to try to kind of add that to their calculation, so to speak, in this timeout.
Well, it could be a problem if they do something more defaulty. I think honestly, if G2 have a good read on what Liquid have in terms of money, which they should, because the rounds were so crazy up until just now, and they know that the last time they bought. So, I mean, I probably wouldn't even op in this situation just because you're going to expect either something fast or a heavy execution, which is really hard to opt through. You know, getting flash, getting smoked out of choke points, it's really difficult if, for example, Liquid decided to go upper for that op to have a lot of impact. But maybe they do something aggressive.
Yeah, here we go. Last round of the half. It's off the back of a tactical timeout from Liquid as they wanted to think everything through for their last crack at a round in this half. They would love to get that round number 5, make things a little bit better for themselves going into the side switch. And Shox will have that op up close on Squeaky Door. The door has been broken as well. A lot of utility being spent by G2 to hold that off. Apex playing very up close. Shox now going back into mini with his op.
Let's see what they're setting up to do. Here we have a mini smoke. All the glasses are being broken out, but that isn't exactly telling, just because Liquid want to do that to make sure that G2 are always worried that it might be a fake of some sort.
Yeah, they had those Molotovs to clear top hut, as well as even the rafter above hut. Like, those are the mollies you can line up from T-roof to just make sure you don't even have to really look up, except for maybe heaven when you first come out. So limiting angles is definitely the goal here with these Molotovs, it seems like, but we'll just have to see exactly. I saw them lining up some stuff on the roof, so that's what I think is happening here. And yeah, there it is, Apex getting flashed. He actually doesn't get chased off. That fire doesn't quite touch him, so he's able to get right on the edge of it and stay above them on this hut. And this is turning out to be a disaster for Liquid thus far. Apex and Body holding this very, very well, but Apex runs out of ammo, but it's fine. KennyS and Shox with those double ops able to recover this. Now it's all on JDM. 1v3 trying to flank from heaven, but KennyS aware of it, going to scope in and find it. That's an 11th round for G2.
Yeah, well played. I think JDM needed to pick up the pace there a little bit, considering how much crazy stuff was happening. That I feel like they would have been prone to just eating that flank in a really bad way. So, okay, so I think that's one adjustment they could have made there. There was a lot of chaos, obviously. Interesting that Apex found a spot on top of hut that was just clear of that Molotov. They need to either realign it, or maybe the Molotov doesn't spread enough to cover both sides completely.
It's definitely one of those things we're talking in the post-round situation. I'm sure Liquid are probably trying to figure out how come there was still someone top hut after all of that, you know? Definitely Apex just kind of finding the perfect spot to where he wouldn't be affected.
I think he actually made a mistake by falling off, because if they... he found a spot that he's in, and yeah, he shot some bullets. They were silenced M4 bullets, though. And if he stayed in that spot, they probably wouldn't have cleared it, because they would think, well, our Molotov's still going. We know that we never have to clear hut or top hut in this situation. How in the world could he be up there? And would have had just a great spot. Instead, just like fell into the smoke, which I felt like was a bit strange. So, yeah.
So again, just to kind of recap what's going on here, you know, this is an elimination best of 3. Loser figuratively goes home right after this is over. They're out of the tournament. G2 came into this event as a team that everyone thought was the team to beat, the one that this was their event to lose, so to speak. The field was not as stacked as what they've come from at Starlighter, where they did quite well. Their online play has improved a lot. The star power on the lineup is definitely something to brag about. You know, this dream team title that they've been given by the community is certainly fair, considering the lineup that they have. The fact that they're in this situation was probably a bit unexpected by many, to not be the first team out of the group and have to even face these best of 3s before semifinals start up. And now, you know, they obviously took Cobble very close, 16-13. Then we went on to Train, where it was just a massive victory for Liquid. Absolute domination by JDM for the op in particular. And now we're on Nuke, of course. Big time home soil for G2. Very successful on this map so far with this 5. Going up against the Liquid, who's very comfortable playing Nuke, but obviously the track record favors G2, right? And now they have an 11-4 lead at the end of the first half.
Yeah, it's a matter of being outclassed in that regard. So, I mean, we've definitely got NA in the crowd. There's no doubt about that. And I think that from what we've seen, Liquid have shown some good stuff in that half. Unfortunately for them, it's only resulted in 4 rounds in total. But I think that Liquid moving on the CT side, that we will still have a game on our hands. And that I would say G2 are clearly favored in this situation. Before coming into this map, after this half, nothing has changed. from that perspective, that Liquid are down but not out.
Yeah, I mean, G2 definitely got the job done on that CT side. I mean, they got the rounds that they were looking for. There's no doubts about that. Now just about whether or not they're going to have an easy time actually closing this from their own T side, especially if they can get pistol. That'll give them so much breathing room, you have to imagine. But I know that this crowd here in Austin, Texas are looking to see if Liquid can pull the upset. It would be a massive upset just in that context, but also just for Liquid, how they've been slowly piecing together this roster that's prided on like youthful talent, the best in-game leader in the region in many people's eyes, one of the best coaches you could possibly have, a seasoned veteran in his own right, you know, winning majors with the SK Luminosity, or SK guys basically, and you know, formerly Luminosity of course. And so now it all comes down to this. It's the second half of Map 3 of the elimination best of 3 here in Group A. Group B, excuse me.
Simple setup upstairs. Got a couple of CTs roaming, heavy ramp setup, and I think we've got players from G2 gearing up to run kind of into both of these choke points. So this might work out kind of well for Lick. Whoa, that's a really nice trade, however. Body instantly shoots him off the top, and Nitro goes down as well. They've made their way into lower. They're about to plant this bomb, and this could be one of the final nails in the coffin if this pistol round doesn't go the way of Liquid. Kenny S there to make sure that that is the case. JDM all alone now, 1v4. Has to drop vents, not a fun situation to be in. Taking pod shots, knows he can get flanked, and there it is, Body cleans it up. Fantastic, and G2's got a cheering section of their own.
I mean, they're a fantastic team with a lot of big names that have made a lot of history in this game and include some of the best players that this game has ever seen.
Definitely.
Particularly when you look at guys like Kenny S and like Shox. Those are just legends at this point when it comes to CSGO. And now it's 12-4 for Liquid. And the scary thing is here for Liquid, G2 has usually never had trouble closing Nuke games where they have a lead. Like some teams, you know, you think, okay, yeah, you get the big CT side, but can you close from T? Usually G2 does not struggle to do that. Usually they can get those rounds fairly early and close a game, you know, pretty rapidly. And then in games where they've had to start T side first, they've at times even gotten double digits or been able to, you know, get an impressive number of rounds. So this is not one of those situations where the side's really going to affect G2's performance. Like Liquid is going to be fighting not only the uphill battle of the scoreboard, but the fact that G2 are very capable on their terrorist side.
Exactly. New challenges, new beast. An inexperienced Liquid with a worse track record. Everything stacked against them here. Eco's entirely possible, not only possible, are necessary for Liquid to pull this off. JDM again with this op, or this, not op, but discount op, a scout outside. Has the ability to leave everybody that he looks at within kind of one CZ bullet of death, so. Good call from G2 to push ramp in this situation. One player is there and he's dead. Nitro has made his way into Hut, but won't be entirely useful. And absolutely no opponents outside to keep JDM busy.
Yeah, so lower has all but been forfeited here by Liquid. That bomb is going to get planted now. Just a couple of CZs and a scout up for Liquid. And they may even just think to save these for the next round. I mean, you do have armor on these players. You're not going to be able to really buy up next round anyway, so you might as well try to hold on to these 3 guns and, you know, pose what threat you can in the next round before your full buy.
100%. I mean, they really needed this round, and so they can move into the next round with 2 people with half armor, 1 with full armor, and pretty good pistols, and still have a great chance to win like we saw in Cobble. Well, Nitro pulled off that amazing CZ round that you can go watch again. It's like really way up there on Reddit. It was actually fantastic where he was just able to...
Yeah, if you want to listen to what Launder sounds like when he's giving you the O-face, definitely go check out that post on the CSGO subreddit here, as we are at 13-4 for G2. Seems like the elimination of Liquid could just be right on the horizon, but there's still at least a few more rounds before G2 have ensured it.
So they have the opportunity here to still convert this, but we're starting to see the transformation of G2's guns from SMGs into bigger, more solid, more reliable rifles. I'm kind of curious what their approach would be, or will be, into this. And we do have a tag off actually on 2 players, very low, and there he is. 1 bullet after that initial scout shot, and Shox is down, though he didn't get the assist. Did Leech just do that all by himself?
Yeah, not really sure. He definitely did the damage outside. We know Apex is sitting very low because of that scout from JDM as he repositions himself into lockers. Almost gets the angle on the body, but body does in fact find the shot. Kenny S also now joining his teammate on the scoreboard in this round. So now it's going to be a 4-on-3. Nitro trying to put that CZ to use. You mentioned the cobblestone play. Be cool to see him do it here on Nuke to maybe kickstart something for Liquid, but he's already been silenced by Kenny S, it appears. And so now it's just going to be on Twist and Stanislaw in this 2v4. Still so much time left for G2 to work with, and obviously superior firepower. And Stan already cleared off the board. Now just Twist gets one kill with the CZ. Trying to see if he can't go get that gun. Gets another nice kill onto MBK. Grabs the AK-47. And is Twist really going to make some noise here? That's the question we all have to ask now. Spots another one in the upper rafters. It's becoming more and more likely at this point. As time is running low, and Twist, he still has a pretty good amount of HP. Apex sitting very low on 13. He's going to get the lower bomb plant. There's nothing Twist can do about that, but Twist could still find the kill. He does have to find it early, though. There is no kit, so Apex could win off the clock even if he doesn't get the frag. So Twist, it all comes down to finding this and finding it quickly as he's scoping out here from the lower ramp, working his way in as Apex is going to hold that angle back cause. Twist clearing that dark corner. He has so many things he has to check and not a whole lot of time to do it so carefully. So he just has to kind of run around. He's actually going to stick it. It's a 10-second defuse, though. This would be incredible, but he's not opening the door. Is this for real? Is this really going to happen? No way. Oh, Twist gets the kill, but does he have time? No, he doesn't. No,
what the hell?
Not like this. Oh, man. It was going to be so good.
I don't even know what to say. I mean, he probably had like 2 full seconds left on the bomb. As the smoke was dissipating, there would probably been no hope of him just sticking that. And then he gets the kill. It's the 1v4. He gets all 4 kills. And my God, I don't know if he would have stuck it if he had a. I mean, you can only assume he would have stuck it if he had a kid. But wow.
Yeah, the problem was, too, his leg was actually showing. The smoke wasn't really completely covering him the way that he thought it was. And so it was kind of an easy spot there, it looks like, from the replay that we saw. As now G2 just 1 round away from map point and series point at that to move on to a best of 3 later on. Remember, this is still just an elimination best of 3. They still have to play another one to get into the playoffs. And Elige, though, trying his best to keep Liquid in this. A couple of nice frags here from Window Room.
Yep, and he's hanging on to this angle. Ooh, right through the door. Kenny S takes his skull off. Twist chimes in. Clean headshot. Opera goes down. JDM at ramp, and wow, shocked.
He's so good.
Jeez, he's so damn good. Stanislaw, though, on a hot rotate, and it's going to be about time that Shox gets worried about the fact that he isn't seeing anybody and might check this, but at the same time is... Oh,
did he not hear that?
He just made noise at ramp. I think he's assuming his teammate has got his back and is incorrect about it. Stanislaw gets both. I don't think he needed... See, I think that's a situation where, like, Shox did the right thing, where he's got a teammate on the other side of him. So he's like, you're watching my doorways. I'm watching vent for you. You know, if I turn, I mess us both up. Suddenly they both push in. So I think that's why he didn't react initially. But then MBK obviously lost his duel, so that's a big thing.
So there's a 5th round for Liquid, and G2 are quickly forced onto a limited pistol buy here. The Tech 9s across the board, the 1 CZ. Everyone does have head armor, and they're looking just to storm outside. JDM going to be here with the op, does spot one jumping, but misses the mark, and everyone here from G2 is going to be able to get inside the back halls. Even JDM taking damage, it will go down the MBK CZ. And that's just adding insult to injury. You already conceded control of the map, but now you go down on the fallback. And so G2 have a man advantage in all this. The smoke will go down. Elige going to try to see if he can't perhaps spam through, stop the bomb plant, but it hasn't even been started just yet. But now it's going to go down, but he's lining it up perfectly. Doesn't quite find the bullets he needs, though, to stop the plant. It does go down. And G2, they might just get the map point off. But this, look at Apex coming through with the Tech 9. It's going to be a 2-on-2 body versus NBK alongside Peter and Twist here. As Bodies is making sure no one's going to push the window right now. With that Tech 9 comes up. M4 and AK up. Someone's on the defuse. Peter with some great cover there. The defuse is being stuck. The Terra's not going to be able to get out and stop it. And so there it is. Liquid, they're holding on. Yeah,
by dear life, they're holding on. And I think one thing we've seen from Stanislaw in these past few rounds is if G2 are going to win this, he's not going to make it easy for them. He's gotten some critical frags. Wow, Twist is dropped 21 kills in the super team already. He's already catching up to top fragger Kenny S, 27 and 11 in just 21 rounds. Sick stuff right now, sick stuff. I think that qualifies them as a good pickup, but everybody is going to have to be inspired and step up themselves if they want to meet him halfway on this. Look at the grenade damage that has been done already. Oh, though body comes right out upper. Everybody else is within a few body shots of being killed, though. And we're going to see this be a big factor in which team wins.
So we are going to see Kenny S and Shox left here in a 2 versus 3. They're still chasing after that ever-elusive map point and series point, but Elige is holding them off at the pass. It's all on Kenny S now, 1 versus 3. Halfway down in health already. A nice shot on the Nitro, but there's also one on the floor and one above, and this would be insane if he pulls this off. It's going to be very difficult here, but he's just slowly taking the peaks, but going to get cleared out by Elige up top. And so there's another round from Liquid. They're marching forward. They're just a few rounds away from really posing a serious threat to G2, by the way. I mean, right now, G2 are probably not feeling the heat too much, but, you know, you allow Liquid to get up to 10, 11 rounds, and all of a sudden, they're right there on your heels.
Yeah, and I think there's one thing about changing the tempo and going from slow to fast. That's like a common adjustment that people would like to do, especially when you relax your opponents. But if you've gotten them so used to you going fast and then slowing it down, that isn't really catching them off guard, if you will. So I think that it's actually working pretty against G2 to be doing these quick rounds and then them actually falling short. And Nitro's got a very important position right now. He could actually get flanked, but has made his way out of vent, got a kill, and retained control of Heisenberg. Has a couple of players peeking out at him. And Twist to support. Where did Shox go? Has he landed yet? The man outside Squeaky, there he is. Gets killed, and Liquid are now back in this. I mean, this is definitely getting close to this moment. G2, it looked like they half bought off of that round. Did they just spend all their money? They have between 3,000 and 3,800 across all their players.
And there comes the timeout from Shox. G2 want to talk about things now. It's the tactical timeout being forced by Liquid to some degree, as we've seen them just holding off G2 from getting to that map point situation, getting to that series point. Liquid, they still have some fight left in them. And they're getting some great play out of their team. Twist, this is particularly a highlight moment for him. This may be one of the best maps he's played for Liquid since he's been here, as far as, you know, the context of who he's up against, what's on the line, the pressure that's building against his team.
Definitely.
This is definitely where Twist, you know, stepping up and shining like this is big time for him. And then once you get below him, I mean, you're certainly seeing some of these guys start to wake up. Obviously, you know, these guys were having a tougher game in the first half. We know how dominant G2 were in that, particularly those last 5 rounds of the first half. But now you're starting to see something rise out of Liquid. They still seem to have a little bit of gas left in the tank, so to speak.
I think what we'll see from G2 right here is just a quarter buy, like a half buy. Would they just spend like maybe half armor, get a Tech 9, and a couple of smokes, maybe another inner rush, maybe a squeaky bust, and then either get this round over with or just try to do a lot of damage. I mean, they can convert on any pistol round, which is the dangerous part, especially G2. Just in terms of pistols, it's, even though they're saving every other round, it's like they have the ability to just convert. Liquid are not as good as they've been. They're not immune to losing to low buys.
And there's many of players who have suffered the wrath of the power of the pistols that these French players have on G2. So you always have to consider it. It already has a high percentage, it seems, and then the way that these players can handle the pistols even just lops onto it. And so now it's going to be 14-8. The timeout has come to a close. And so we will be getting started here. G2, they're going to do the buy that you were kind of talking about here. Tech 9s across the board, except for that CZ. Then you do have the armor out, a little bit of utility as well.
Yeah.
Maybe that smoke wall outside again and just go back halls. I mean, they've been doing that most of the force buy rounds they've played, and they have the utility for it.
Yeah, I think they do have room to work with strategies that they know should work. There's a good Molotov. Twist to try to defend against the vent drop, but a man has already circumvented the operation, and again, they've got head armor and Tech 9s. They have spent a lot of money. Not all of it, but a lot of it.
Leash was sneaking around outside, by the way, so I'm kind of curious if he's going to be able to maybe get the flank off behind them in back halls. This has never happened to G2. They've always been able to get down here, and they take their fights vents, you know, maybe window room, but this is going to be the time where Leash can really just be a huge factor. Twist, in the meantime, holding off very well with Stanislaw, buying more time for this, but all the fighting's really just taking place on ramp room, and Stanislaw and JDM are clearing everything out, and so Leash will not even be called upon, and so another round is going to go to Liquid. It's going to be 9-14.
Ow. Oh. Oh, a hero of the day gets taken down, and it looked like another one was going to happen. We're in 5. We're within 5 rounds. 5 rounds of tying up.
You know how baller it would be if Liquid just win this 16-14 like this? I mean, the momentum's definitely starting to build, but all it takes is one mistake for G2 to ensure overtime as a worst-case scenario for them.
Yeah. Yeah, you would have expected they at least do that. Wow, Shox actually didn't buy any utility and has 850 bucks. That is really interesting. I wonder what he's going to do here. He's obviously intending to go out first, and saving that money is really important. Unleash winning an important duel outside. This is the position that we saw Balda playing so well earlier.
Especially when you think about how much G2 builds upon outside control. I mean, they've done it every force buy on gun rounds. They like to do smoke wall, still keep that consistency factor there, keep you guessing. So if Elise can step out there and guarantee they get accurate information as well as perhaps get kills and just deny control, that's going to really limit what G2 has to work off of. And they're already down 2 men in this round. And this was their full buy that they, you know, called their timeout for.
Yeah. And in a sense, they'll be mentally going back to their drawing board because it's kind of like one last strategy when you take those pauses. Oh, critical fight body, wall-banging Peter, putting him in such an awkward position, and then finally finishing him off. And now they have lower control. Twist, our man, goes down. 3-on-3 in this moment. Retake is what has to occur. Likely going to find this frag as well. Kenny S pitching in. And that leaves Nitro all alone, a 1v3, and they cleaned it up. Wow, 5v3.
And it's only fitting that Shox and Kenny S will be the ones really involved in closing that round out for G2. And now they might be just what G2 need to close out the series, as it is 15-9. They're going to get 6 chances to close this out in regulation before Liquid force the hand of overtime. Double op set up here for the CT side from Liquid. It will be, of course, JDM toting one of those. The second op right now in the hands of, I believe, Stanislaw.
Yeah. Yeah. Many oppers here. And holding down ramp is great. You got a long angle that you can't hold normally with rifles. A lot of great reasons to want to do this. Unfortunately, Twist only has a UMP. If I had a rifle on this team and I wasn't playing as well as Twist, I would have just handed him the M4 for sure. But here they have secret control, they have ramp control, and these are 2 very important areas that G2 have been isolating to try to hit lower, and it's resulted in their best success in this half, even in rounds that they haven't actually won. So I think that Liquid have a great opportunity to channel G2 into upper, which is kind of what they're hoping will happen. And therefore channeling them into what their best player is, Twist, who actually has gone down right now. MBK finding that entry. Frag outside, no good. 2 players up. Upper control has been taken. Liquid got what they want. But now we have 2 ops on the retake.
Yeah, great recovery from Kenny S. Misses a couple of shots, but finds the mark when it matters most. And now it's just going to be JDM and Peter with these 2 ops fighting for all that's left for Liquid, trying to keep them alive as MBK is going to be playing right up top. I'm not sure if JDM's hearing all these footsteps, but that utility certainly should begin to give things away and give info. But Kenny S finds Stanislaw on the flank, so now it's all on JDM. And oh my goodness, this is so rough for him. Just trying to come up in MBK, that's too easy for him. And that's going to be it. G2, after a bit of a scare on Train, take the series 2-1 and move on to play a little bit later on against, I believe that is Cloud9 for a playoff spot.
Oh, that's going to be a great match as well. Fantastic series. I think it's kind of the best for both parties in the sense that G2 just had so much more riding on this. I think that the amount of time that they've played together, whereas Liquid have just shown that they can compete at such a high level. We had our man Twist played so extremely well in that 3rd map as well, and they showed us a lot about their Train and how that they're a force on that map. It's good for JDM, who
Absolutely.
managed to have one of the best performances that he's had in a very long time.
You were at least seeing a couple of bright spots out of Liquid. Again, they've been, really looking to restructure the team from a leadership perspective, from a firepower perspective, a mentality perspective, bringing in more resources to try to make this team the best it can be and be one of those leaders in the North American region. And as they walk away from this tournament, they've now played 2 offline events with this 5, and at times they've shown us glimmers of hope, like, proof that there is progress being made, but it just hasn't been quite enough yet to get the big victories that they want. But, they seem to be on the right path. Time will tell if they ever get there. Meanwhile, G2, I think the community pressure was even higher against them, though. Like, they're expected to be making these playoffs and winning this whole event.
Yeah.
And they did well on Nuke there to have a decisive victory, really proving that is their home soil. If you're going to go up against them on Nuke, you're going to have a hard time no matter who you are on the globe. Like, they're just, really on point.
Definitely. Russell Brand, Russell Crowe, Peter Russell, Russell Van Delken.
There you go. 6 degrees of separation, maybe a couple less. But nonetheless, we're going to get to talk to the victors of that great matchup. It's going to be Paula on stage. Take it away.
I am here with Shocks. That was a very exciting final map. At one point, it looked very, very scary for you guys. What was going through your minds?
Nothing special. Like, we just kept doing like how we know how we play, and after taking several rounds on T side, we just figured out like how to counter it and to close it.
And talking about that, figuring out how to counter Liquid's near comeback, I should say, what did you guys go through during that pause near the end of that map?
We knew that they were pretty weak, like on the lower bomb site, on the B bomb site, but we tried like 2 or 3 times to go by the same entrance, so we just decided to do it but differently, and it worked out.
Can I ask what it was like specifically to play against the young new talent in the form of Twist? Because he was putting up some pretty big numbers.
Honestly, I'm sorry, but I don't take a look about it. Like, I'm really focused on the game, and I'm not getting up like who is getting the kills or whatever.
All right, fair enough. And Richard, I feel like it's been far too long since we've spoken on stage, and I'd like to get a little catch up on how things have been with you and the team, because you guys are the styled as the French super team, many would argue. And so how is that going? How far are you guys along in terms of potential?
The thing is, like, we started really slowly with this team, but we knew it will be hard. We did a good showing, I guess, at the Star Series, and coming back to the EPL League online, it was a really good run for us, a nice comeback. But the thing is, like, since 2 weeks, we had some personal issues. Personally, me and Body had it, so we did like 2 or 3 practice in 10 days, so you can feel like it's getting hard these days, but it was not our fault, unfortunately, so we'll just try to do our best here, and when we come back home, just practice as much as we can.
All right, and then final 2 things, talking about this competition, what went wrong yesterday in the best of 1 against Cloud9, and then moving on to later today, potential revenge in a best of 3.
Overall, I think like we are just not enough prepared to play in this condition. I mean, this is long time we didn't play in front of a crowd like this without like the big headphones, I don't know how to say it, but the helicopter ones, So we have a lot of noise, and we could not hear each other by the communication, so it really annoyed us a bit. And then we just didn't have the good mentality to just say like, okay, it's like this, we can't do anything, just stay focused, It just really annoyed us, and we are just going down, 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 down. So now we know it's like this, and we're gonna do our best to come back and win this event.
All right, well, we will have to see if you can adapt to these changes later today. Shocks, any final words to anyone you want?
Thanks, of course, G2 for the sponsor, and I mean, Carlos is a very fantastic guy. I love him, and thanks for all the people who are here, or every people who are supporting us by internet on the stream. And we know like we didn't show a good face yesterday, and either today, even if we won, I mean, it was not a good face. We have to be honest. So, but the most important is that we won, and we'll try to just step up game by game to get back to the trophy.
there we go. Thank you so much, Richard. Pleasure to talk to you once again, and best of luck in that best of 3 later today. Thank you all in the crowd for staying. Make sure you don't go anywhere. We still have another best of 3 to go. All right, for now, we will head back to the desk. Alex and the guys, take it away.
Thank you very much, Parla. Yes, fantastic to hear from Shox.